$1 from the United States. At first glance, a quarter seems like nothing more than a small piece of change worth just 25 cents, but what if I told you that some specific examples of the 1965 quarter have reached mind-blowing values in today's collector market, with rare specimens valued as high as $178 million. This extraordinary valuation has made the 1965 quarter one of the most legendary and talked about coins in numismatic circles, and today we are going to take a deep dive into its history, its creation, the unique circumstances that surround it, and why collectors are willing to pay such astonishing sums to own one. The story begins in 1965, a year that was a turning point in United States coinage history. Prior to 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. This composition gave the coins intrinsic value because the silver content itself was worth something significant. However, as silver prices rose during the early 1960s, the cost of producing silver coins began to exceed their face value. People started hoarding quarters, half dollars, and dimes for their silver content, and this created a coin shortage in circulation. To address this crisis, the United States government and the Mint made a landmark decision in 1965. They eliminated silver from quarters and dimes and reduced the silver in half dollars from 90% to 40%. The new quarters introduced in 1965 were made of a clad composition consisting of a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of copper nickel. This major change marked the end of the silver quarter era and the beginning of modern clad coinage. The 1965 quarter became historic because it was the very first year of issue for these new clad coins, and as with many first-year issues, collectors paid close attention. But what really sets the 1965 quarter apart is not just its role as the first clad quarter, it is the fact that a few extraordinary minting errors slipped into circulation, errors that have become some of the rarest and most valuable coins ever discovered. One of the most famous and highly coveted errors is the 1965 quarter struck on a silver planchet during the transition from silver to clad. The Mint was in the process of phasing out the old 90% silver blanks, but a small number of them were accidentally fed into the presses and struck with the 1965 date. These rare silver 1965 quarters are easily distinguishable from regular clad quarters because they weigh more and have a distinct silver edge instead of the copper-colored edge of clad coins. Collectors prize these coins above almost anything else because they represent a unique historical moment, a transitional era that should not exist yet somehow survived. The